Welcome back to The Human Perspective. I'd like to introduce you today to our guest, Judith Smith. I think it's very interesting because we both have the same name. Now she's going by Judith, and my formal name is Judith, but I still call myself Judy. Welcome to the program.
You can call me Judy after. Yeah.
Anyway, I've invited Judith to speak with us today because of the work that she's been doing with a company called Axis Dance, which started in the 1970s.
80.
Sorry.
1987, actually.
Okay.
Yep, we just had our 30th anniversary.
And she is now the Emerita. She was a founder and artistic director. Could you give us a little bit of information about what Axis Dance started out as and what it is today?
Well, Axis Dance Company has always been a company of dancers with and without disabilities. And in our performing company, we're dancers with and without physical disabilities. So that's the way we started, and our mission is to change the face of dance and disability through artistry, engagement, and advocacy. And we are one of the first companies of our kind that started in the U.S. When we started, of course, we didn't have the internet, so we didn't really know there were other companies doing this kind of work. But we were indeed popping up all over the world at about the same time. And I found out about Dancing Wheels in Ohio, and then we had a dancer join us from Germany, and he told us about a company over there, and we went over there to work with them and met people from Brazil, so it was indeed kind of happening all around the world.
Were you a dancer prior to acquiring your disability?
No, I was supposed to be showing jumping horses for my entire life. And I was injured in a car accident, and I really found dance and movement through a friend of mine when I moved to Berkeley, and it really changed my life. It reconnected me with my body and taught me ways to move in my disabled body that I never imagined. And I really just got hooked on being physical again and moving again, and dance gave me a way to do that.
So Axis Dance has become much more than what it started out in the 1980s. Give us a little bit of information about how the company has grown and how you have been working with other companies, both traditional dance and inclusive dance companies like Axis.
Yeah.
How have you done it? What have been some of the obstacles? What have been some of the successes?
Well, when we started in the late 80s, I think people were really confused because they couldn't, like funders, for instance, and presenters couldn't quite put disability and dance in the same sentence. And,
They see dance as therapeutic as
well,
opposed to
yeah, they didn't believe that we were
artistic.
actually doing art.
Right.
So, after about 10 years, the company started, as a collective. We were, none of us were paid. Some of us were dancers, some of us weren't. But we all got hooked, and Thais Mazer was our first artistic director. She actually had the idea to, bring us all together, and, a group of us founded Axis and started working together. And it was about 10 years in, after doing all of our choreography collaboratively from within the company. Because I didn't have a dance background, I educated myself by going to see every dance thing I could. And I'd see choreographers and I'd think, God, they could do something really interesting with us. And 10 years in, the company actually split up because some of us, myself, really wanted to start commissioning work from other choreographers who were established and doing, really superb work.
And choreographers who were not necessarily doing choreography with...
Most of the ones that we have worked with have never worked with a company like ours.
So they didn't have experience
No.
in dance with disabled people.
No. And it wasn't that much of a stretch for them, actually. Jeremy Alliger in Boston was a presenter who got really interested in Access right away, and really helped us grow our profile and grow the company. He wanted to commission Access to do a work, and I said, why don't we find somebody else? And he said, well, who do you want? And I said, Bill T. Jones.
Who is Bill T. Jones?
Bill T. Jones is one of the most beloved and successful choreographers in the United States. He's a MacArthur Fellow. He's won Tony Awards. He's won every dance award possible. He's gotten honorary doctorates from I don't know how many schools. So naivete is a good thing, because had I really thought about what I was saying, I might not have done it, But anyway, so the first repertory that we performed after I took over as artistic director were 4 commissioned works from other choreographers. And that really started to put us on the map. And I think it gave critics a way to review us that they didn't have before, because they could review us in the context of Bill T. Jones' work, or Joe Good's work, or Victoria Mark's work. So it gave them a way in. Funders really started to realize that we were serious about being artists and, performing high quality work. And that really launched the company. So for the 20 years that I was the artistic director, I set about, building the repertory and building the income base. And we've always done engagement, education work alongside, because after our first performance, people said, where can I go do this? And we had nowhere to send them. So we started with a monthly community dance jam. And, now engagement's about 50% of what we do. We have started a summer intensive 13 years ago, yeah. And we have people from all over the world that come to us to dance for a week. We do teacher trainings around the country. In the last
conference that you did in 2016.
Yeah, I was going to just talk about that. The last 2 years, I've been really involved in the advocacy part of our mission. Did I say the mission? Access exists to change the face of dance and disability through artistry, engagement, and advocacy. And about 3.5 years ago, I really took the advocacy component seriously and put together the first ever national convening on physically integrated dance. It was a 2.5-day Think Lab where we brought people from all over the country, from different sectors of the performing arts world and the disability world, to really think about how we could advance this art form. Because a lot of the problems that Access was having 3 years ago were the problems that we were having 27 years ago.
And that other companies...
And the other companies face too. There's a lack of opportunity for disabled dancers. There's a lack of training for disabled dancers. There's a lack of visibility for integrated and inclusive dance.
So with the results of the conference that you did in 2016, what are the next steps to be able to make the issue of inclusive dance, getting traditional dance companies to be integrating disability into disabled artists into their company?
Well, the next steps, we did a national convening and 6 regional convenings over the year. And Access came out with an artistic advancement platform. And Dance USA, which is our national service organization for the dance world, has really gotten on board. And several of the major performing arts funders, Mellon Foundation, Doris Duke Charitable Foundation, Ford Foundation, Surdna Foundation, are all kind of getting behind this platform, which is really exciting to me. And we're really looking at ways that we're going to advance training opportunities, both through Access, but also by training other people to be able to teach disabled dancers. I would love to see, disabled dancers be able to attend a university program the same way non-disabled dancers do.
For dance.
And right now it's very difficult, if not almost impossible.
So I hate to say it, but our time is up again. I was really happy to be able to bring Judith forward for this discussion today because she brings a whole new dynamic. I think dance and inclusive dance is something that is little seen in our communities in the United States and around the world, even though there is more funding in some other countries where governments support dance and other artistic activities for disabled and non-disabled artists. But if you're an aspiring dancer or you have an interest in sharing your story about what you are doing in dance or what you would like to be able to do in dance, please drop us a note and we'll hook you up to Judith and the staff at Access Dance as well as other companies in the United States. So thank you very much, Judith, for being with us.
And it's Axis, A-X-I-S.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.